series as the Padres look to make it 2 in a row over the Colorado Rockies. Let's check out Andy Green starting 9 tonight for the Padres, brought to you by Toyota. You're always Toyota, as Travis Jankowski in left field, Jose Perella at second base, Eric Hosmer at first, Corey Spangenberg at third, with Austin Hedges doing the catching. Freddie Galvis at short, Franmil Reyes in right, and Welmar Go in center. Jacob Nix does the pitcher and bats out of the 9 spot. And tonight Padres will be dealing with John Gray.
26-year-old John Gray, he's got a good arm, making his 24th start after coming back from AAA and getting some things straight. There you take a look at his arsenal. 50% on the fastball. He's got the curveball, slider, changeup. And like I said, 96, the strikeout is there. He's a strike thrower as well. Very few walks from John Gray when he is on his game. Take a look at the Rockies defense. Their defense is brought to you by the San Diego Cadillac dealers. Tony Walter is San Diego native. 12th start as catcher since July 1st. In the outfield, Gerardo Parra, Charlie Blackmon in center, Carlos Gonzalez in right. On the infield, third to first, Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, and Ian Desmond behind John Gray.
Well, last year, John Gray, a 10-game winner and a guy that they relied heavily on. This year ends up at AAA for part of the year, amazingly enough, but he has come back very strong for the Rockies, and the Rockies have won all 6 of his starts. Jankowski to left field, and that's a base hit on the first pitch of the ball game. Travis Jankowski going the other way. He is on to start things here in the first inning.
Wow, just like that. Boy, what, I don't know what to say. You know, you talk to Don Orsillo about pick the stick, and what do you know? You lead off a big league ball game with a big league knock for Travis Jankowski. I'm happy for both of you. Yeah. It's great.
Lead off single for Jankowski, and here is Perella. You know, these guys are very superstitious. You know that, right?
Very.
I mean, very superstitious.
Sure.
So if he all of a sudden thought that because you were picking him that it was bad karma, then I get it.
It's unbelievable. Happy for everybody.
Yeah, it's working out.
Especially if the Padres get on the board first, right?
Well, Ian Desmond coming over. I think he may have a glove issue. And tosses that first baseman's mitt into the dugout and get a new one.
We've talked about the difficulties of the opposition scoring against the Rockies in the first inning. Starters ERA well above 7.
Most runs allowed in the first, 109 for the Rockies. John Gray cannot be happy with this situation. Well, now Desmond's got a glove, and he'll head over to first base again. Jose Perella batting tonight for Will Myers. They've heard as part of the pregame show, Will Myers was hit in the face and the nose area during batting practice today on a ground ball that cut him, and he is apparently okay, but not in the lineup tonight. But a scary scene here at Coors Field. I'm a little surprised it doesn't happen more often, to be honest with you.
I'm right there with you. There's a lot of action going on with fungos being hit, and guys, that's why you have to pay attention. I know it sounds so cliche, but you have to pay attention to each individual pitch being thrown during batting practice, because in between those pitches, they hit fungos to the infielders.
This ball's going all over the place.
Lots going on.
You can't be watching everything. So Perella bats second where Myers was going to bat. Grounds one to third. Picked on the backhand by Arenado to second for one. On to first. Not in time. They get the lead runner in Jankowski. 5-4 on the force out. Here was the injury today during batting practice. There is Will at third base, and a ground ball jumps up and gets him in the nose. And Myers was down for a little while. Will Sign and the trainers came over to get him and then walked him off. Mark Rogo there as well. Paul Navarro as well, and Will Myers coming off with a bloodied nose. And Will apparently okay, but not in the lineup.
And we will keep you posted on further reports on Will as he gets checked out.
One out, one on, and Eric Hosmer the batter. Hosmer at 261 coming in, 13 homers, 54 runs batted in. Sitting at 371 during his 9-game hitting streak. Takes a strike on the outside corner from Gray at 94. Last time out, Gray allowed 3 runs over 7 innings in a no decision against the Atlanta Braves. Struck out 9. Rockies came back to win that game 5-3. So again, they have won all of his games since his return from AAA.
The thing about Gray for these Padre hitters, you know, talk to Matt Stairs before the game. Look something middle in. If you're a right-handed hitter, the sliders stay on it. Try to take it to the big part of the field because, you know, the strikeouts there. 157 strikeouts in 134 innings, but very few walks. So you're going to get pitches around the plate. Only 38 walks going into this game with 134 innings pitched. Ooh, quick! I don't know if he stepped on that. He kind of twirled with his feet. John Gray.
Calling balk.
You're supposed to step off in front of that pitcher's plate. He kind of like spun. It happened so quickly that that back foot's supposed to come off in front of it. Looked like he spun while he was in contact with it.
Nick Lentz, the first base umpire tonight, will be keeping an eye on that.
And I think they would have called it if they saw something, but it just happened so quickly. It looked like he spun on that pitcher's plate.
1 out, 1 on. Eric Hosmer with a count of 3-1. Cranks it foul off to the left out of play. Full count. Hosmer with 13 home runs, 54 runs batted in. Mentioned the 9-game hitting streak coming in for Hosmer. He has multiple hits in all 5 games that he's ever played at Coors Field. I think at 526 here, 2 home runs, 7 runs scored. He likes it here. Runner goes at first on the payoff pitch. Little pop up. It has the shortstop Story backpedaling to make the catch. And back to first goes Pirela with now 2 down. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Crooked number of the first. We want to put in the heads of the Rockies that, oh no, here we go again. Well, there's 2 outs right here. Runner on first base, but ERA of over 7 for the starters. It's been something that's been hurting them. And then clean D for Knicks. Jacobs got to throw good quality strikes, keep the ball in the ballpark, but also clean up the defense. 2 miscues last night, even though the Padres won. Don't give the Rockies free outs tonight.
2 down, Pirela at first base, and Corey Spangenberg sends one to center field. Back goes Charlie Blackmon, still going. It's going to be over his head and off the bottom of the wall. Pirela coming all the way around from first base. A little bobble in shallow center, and Pirela will score standing on the double to center field for Corey Spangenberg. Well, they put him in the cleanup spot, and he drives in a run with a double off the bottom of the wall, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
Well, you talked to Travis Jankowski before the game. In fact, he sought you out. You picked him. I picked Corey Spangenberg and picked the stick. And I told Corey as he went out to stretch, hey, Corey, need 5 good ones tonight. 5 good APs. Well, we got 1 out of the way. It's a double and a run driven in, and the Padres are on the board. And that's exactly what they need to do against this Rockies team. They've had trouble in the first inning.
Well, they get that first run. Pirela coming all the way around from first base. And it brings up Austin Hedges here in the first inning. He'll take strike 1. That ball carried very well.
It did.
Blackmon kind of started back like he was going to have a chance, but it was quickly over his head. And that center field wall, well, it's 415 feet away. It's a long way.
When there's a ball hit like that, I immediately look at the outfielder, and I saw Blackmon and his number on the back there, and I thought, okay, off and running. It's a good sign.
Blackmon, who mans center field here, not an easy task by any measure. You get all that outfield space here at Coors Field, both to his left, to his right, behind him, and he does a great job out there. The vast outfield of Coors Field. 1-1 coming to Hedges. Going to miss for ball 2. Austin hitting at 243 coming in. 10 homers, 27 runs batted in.
Hey, that ball in the dirt last night, they got him in the throat. I talked to Austin before he said it got him pretty good.
A lot of times you see guys wear kind of a mask extender. He does not. Line to third, caught on the backhand by Arenado to conclude the top of the first inning. Padres get a run as Spangenberg with a double to center field. Perella scores all the way from first base, and the Padres jump on top 1-0. Rockies coming up here in the bottom of the first inning. So we check out Bud Black's starting 9. Charlie Blackmon to the top of the order. DJ LeMahieu at second base. Carlos Gonzalez in right with Nolan Arenado at third base. Trevor Story at shortstop. Gerardo Parra in left. Ian Desmond at first base. Tony Walters, the San Diego native, doing the catching. And John Gray on the mound pitching. While the Padres feature Jacob Nix tonight.
The 22-year-old, first road appearance, first road start, his third big league start. 67% on the fastball, along with the curveball, changeup, and the slider. He throws a spike curveball, buries that index finger nail into the ball, and then that middle finger rolls it over that for a sharp breaking ball.
22-year-old, born in Fullerton, California, resides in Los Alamitos, California during the offseason. Blackmon will send one into center field on the ground for a base hit to get it started here in the bottom of the first inning.
Take a look at the defense behind Jacob Nix tonight. It's brought to you by the San Diego County Ford dealers. Austin Hedges putting down the signs. 3 pass balls allowed in 533 in a third innings. The wall, Austin Hedges. In the outfield, Travis Jankowski, Manuel Margot, Franmil Reyes. Infield third to first, Spangenberg, Galvis, Perella, and Hosmer behind Jacob Nix.
So Blackmon at first base, nobody out in. DJ LeMahieu standing in. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes strike one. I would think, Mark, this start for Nix, especially coming off a really rough one early, very important.
Got to forget it. I mean, that's part of being a big leaguer. You forget your last outing, and we know how quickly things can turn around. Good to bad, bad to good. And I'm sure that Andy Green and Darren Balsley have talked to Jacob Nix, gone over scouting reports. I mean, he's prepared as far as on paper and seeing video, right? Jacob Nix has got to pitch his game and try not to do too much. I know that sounds so cliche, but when you get to this level sometimes, Don, oh, I'm at the big leagues now, I got to try a little harder. That's not the case, and that might have been the case when he's hitting too much of the strike zone.
Okay, Eric Lauer earlier this year had the daunting task of having to pitch at Coors Field for the first time.
Yeah.
That's got to add to it, too.
No question. I talked to Doug Bacher before the game about that, and that's one of the things that the coaches try to instill in the mindset of these guys. Hey, pitch your game. You're going to make mistakes. Don't get too much credit to the hitters. Got to be aggressive. You start nitpicking, that's when you run into trouble.
Throw first and back to the bag is Blackman.
But I will say this, Robbie Erlin pitched well last night in his 5 frames. He threw his changeup at fastball counts. And I think Jacob, if he's behind like 2-1 right here, will he throw him a fastball? Will he try to throw a changeup, something off speed for a strike? I think that's a big key.
Runner goes, LeMahieu takes it, and no throw. No chance. Big start there for Blackman at first base, and he steals second base without a problem, without a throw.
Well, the Rockies being very aggressive in their bottom half of the first after the Padres score 1. He got a fastball to run on. Let's check out the leg kick from Nix. High leg kick, traditional leg kick. And Austin's thinking such a good jump. No use trying to throw that one. Might airmail it. But once again, Jacob missing inside with that fastball. That's where he wanted that last pitch.
LeMahieu taking it the other way to right field. Down the line on the move is Reyes, but he won't have a play. Into the seats, foul ball down that right field line.
And you know, Don, we've got that DJ LeMahieu shift where it's like it's straightaway center field. There's nothing there. We've got the gaps covered and Franmil Reyes down the right field line. And there they are. There's that guy, and here's Franmil. Look at that gap right up there.
Most exaggerated shift they have of any player that I can remember. Somebody for the Giants too. This one is down the right field line and foul.
Yes, you're right.
Duffy, somebody.
Well, it was Matt Duffy, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Before he went to the Rays,
yes.
Right?
It was just like this.
Yeah.
So Charlie Blackman at second base. DJ LeMahieu battling. Full count with Carlos Gonzalez waiting on deck. Rockies batting. In the bottom of the first inning, Padres got a run in the top of the first. Payoff pitch. And a ground ball to second base. Perella looks the runner to third and throws to first for the first out here for Jacob Nix in the first inning. Productive out as Blackman moves on to third. And that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez, who tonight bats in the 3 spot for the Rockies.
Talk about a big leaguer being always prepared, right? You always have to be prepared. Well, Will Myers goes down batting practice. He is scratched. Corey has to move to third. Jose Perella now has to get his game face on and get his Guante out there at second base. Short notice.
Blackman at third, 1 down. Carlos Gonzalez standing in. Little bloop into shallow left, falling fast and falling in for a hit. From third base comes Blackman. It's an RBI single, and the Rockies have tied the score 1-1 with a run of their own here in the first inning. Not hit hard, but well placed.
That was a dud. You know the bottle rockets as a kid? Remember? And then once in a while you get a dud, just kind of die right there. It's exactly what that was right there. And once again, with all that real estate here at Coors Field, the outfielder's playing so far back, you have to respect power. And the long ball dumps it in there for an RBI single.
So 1 out, Gonzalez at first, and Nolan Arenado coming up. 309, 30 home runs, 87 runs batted in.
Going to keep an eye on the fastball location from Jacob Nix.
Pretty big kid, 6'3", 233 pounds, and just 22 years old.
Missing up and into the righties so far. The velocity at 94 from Jacob. Dangerous count here. This is where outfielders kind of stretch the hammies a little bit. 2-0. Arenado at the plate.
No fastball. No strike either.
Yep, breaking ball for a ball, yep.
So falls behind here 3-0. With 1 out, Gonzalez at first. Swing and a miss, and he was swinging 3-0, 3-1. So green light there.
His helmet fell off again. See that?
Happened last night too.
Yeah. And Arenado Guy catches everything. It's a Gold Glover. Catches his helmet right there.
Ground ball right side. Perella with a bobble will go to first for the out. Had a chance perhaps for a double play, but a bobble costly in that regard. They do get Arenado at first base. Gonzalez will take second.
You know, that was hit hard enough to possibly be a double play as well. Oh yeah, you bet. It's too bad. That ball's got to be caught. That ball's got to be caught, got to be turned.
So it gives Trevor Story a chance with a runner in scoring position now in this 1-1 game. Story at 291 coming in. 26 home runs for him on the year. 84 runs batted in. He bats out of the 5 spot tonight for the Rockies. Two hits in the inning and a run so far for Colorado. Center fielder Manuel Margot over towards right center. Gap out there in left center field for Story. Sprays it foul, evens the count at 1-1. Yeah, so Jacob Nix's first career road start comes in one of the least pitcher friendly parks. Working his way here through the first inning, has 2 outs. He's given up a run. Yeah, look at the 2 outings for Nix. One really good, one really bad. Through 6 scoreless innings in the victory, his major league debut August the 10th against a very good Philadelphia Phillies lineup.
His secondary pitches were great. The curveball was there. The changeup was the old trap door. I mean, it was falling off the table. A lot of swings and misses. And I'll bet you in that game he was getting ahead with the fastball location as well.
And here 1-2. Backs off, looks to runner back at second base. And a guy in Trevor Story who will chase. Last time out couldn't finish the first inning. The loss to the Diamondbacks allowed 5 runs. They recorded 2 outs. This one is grounded foul and a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Did you see where that pitch was located? He didn't want it there. It wasn't even close. He wanted it kind of up and in a little bit with the count being 1-2. And this one's yanked. Watch where the glove of Austin Hedges is. He's almost up out of the crouch. Up and in. No.
Guess if you're going to miss, better to miss down.
That's a great point.
Two and 2. Trevor Story batting with Carlos Gonzalez at second base. 2 down here in the Rockies' first inning. We're going to get a run back here, tying the score 1-1.
Jacob just hasn't been consistent with the fastball location or a secondary pitcher's location.
Rolled over foul by the Padres dugout.
Now there's the changeup. Very good pitch.
Time call. Next taking a long time in between pitches here, working kind of deliberately in the first inning. He has thrown 21 pitches so far in the inning. 2-2. And a grounder left side. Moving over is Spangenberg. Throw is in time. Good throw from Corey. That ends the inning. The Rockies get a run, tie the score 1-1 after 1. Colorado. It's time now for our Valley View Casino trivia question.
I love trivia.
Hunter Renfro leads the NL with 18 RBIs this month. Who holds the Padres record for most RBIs in any month? Tweet us your answers by the end of the inning using hashtag Valley View Trivia.
Who's your answer?
I'm going to go with Ken Caminiti. That is always my pick anytime there's some kind of offensive, not
that's like your
power stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Greg Vaughn.
Okay. It's a good guess.
And I didn't even think about it, but that's the one guy that just came to mind. 50 home runs in 1998, and I'm putting that into the equation as far as
somewhere in there, maybe a month.
Yeah.
Freddie Galvis, who led off for the Padres in last night's game, tonight bats sixth. And totes a .235 average coming in. 10 homers, 53 runs batted in for the Padres shortstop, who strikes out pretty quickly here in the second inning. First strikeout of the night for John Gray.
Looked like a slider from John Gray. You know, the stuff is there. The stuff has always been there. Talked to Bud Black and talked to some Rockies people before the game. They said when John Gray went down to AAA, it was all between the ears. And I think pitchers sometimes have a tendency to think about what has happened and you have no control over it, right? It affects you, your next pitch or your next inning.
It had to be stunning for him. I mean, here's a guy that they were going to start last year in the wild card. I mean,
yeah.
And you got a guy who was their go-to guy coming off that kind of season. He had to figure that he was going to be here all year. I mean, I don't think he ever thought about going back to AAA.
Right. That's a wake-up call.
Swing and a miss for Reyes.
And it might sound, easier said than done, but it's part of training yourself to say, hey, okay, it's done, it's over with. I got to think about the next pitch. And he's been one of their better pitchers since coming back.
Plus, a lot of guys who don't like to rehab even at AAA because you get down there, you don't know the hitters,
right?
You don't know anything about them. You know how you got them out because you never faced them. Always a tough situation, I thought, for guys just rehabbing.
There's nothing like pitching in a big league ballpark. You go to a AAA ballpark. It's not. It doesn't seem to be the same adrenaline, right? For some guys,
I would think.
I mean, let's say you had to go to rehab down in El Paso and do some innings down there. Would it be
play-by-play?
Play-by-play. Yeah. So you got to. Let's say you got to go to San Antonio.
I don't know. My attitude would be the best.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be poor.
But you're not that type of guy. See, it's different for different players. Some guys go down there and
I would pout.
They're grumpy and pout, right?
Yes.
You can't do that.
No.
I think you would have the attitude that I'm here for a reason. I want to get better and get back to the big leagues. And that's, I think, what John Gray experienced. Different guy. Guys with egos. How dare you send me down for rehab? No, it's for the good of the team.
I remember Roy Halladay, the great late Roy Halladay, who was sent all the way back to A-ball to figure it out.
And how did he
went from Toronto to A-ball?
And how did he do?
He did spectacular.
See?
Worked his way back up through the minors again.
Yeah.
Realized what he had, made some adjustments.
You know who falls under that category for me? And I'm going back to the 80s. Ron Gant quickly went from the minor leagues to the big leagues. And he got to the big leagues for a while, and he struggled. Sent them back to A-ball in Sumter.
Wow.
Now that's a wake-up. And he made his way back to the big leagues and had a really good career. Because he's a good guy. He knew he had to go down there and have a positive attitude and work his way back to the big leagues.
A one-out walk here for Franmil Reyes. Manuel Margot coming up. I read something today that the last home run you gave up in the big leagues was to Ron Gant.
That's right, it was.
At Mile High Stadium.
That's right, not far from here. Yep, thanks for bringing that up, Don.
And you were released after that?
The next day.
Wow. One out, one on. Kind of a sad story. I didn't know we were going there.
I just got over that the other day, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So now you have to go back to
kind of like came to grips with myself. Thinking, okay, it's done, it's over with. And all of a sudden,
no, that's canceled.
Thanks for bringing it up.
I'm sorry.
Back to square one again.
I had no idea that was going to bring that kind of emotions.
I'm a mental mess right now.
Seeing a whole team of psychiatrists, therapists trying to get through this, and I just
Jeff
roll it
Blauser. Here's how the last three hitters faced my big league career. Jeff Blauser, Mile High, gone. Ron Gant, gone. Fred McGriff,
they go back to
one hopper to Vinny Castilla at shortstop that knocked him into left center field, and he threw him out. Final out of the inning, next day released.
Seen enough?
Seen enough. Yep.
2-0 pitch. Is left side going to be cut off by Arenado. Go to second, and they get the force out there. Only play that he had. So they get Reyes at second base. 5-4 on the force out there. Margot will reach with 2 down, and that'll bring up the pitcher Jacob Nix. 0 for 2 in his major league career at the plate. So do they go back to back? I didn't hear an answer.
They did.
They're
yes.
back to back.
Blauser,
wow.
homer, Gant, homer, Fred McGriff, 1 hopper.
Late swing, look out. Rockies dugout. Right off the facing of the dugout. Strike 2. 95 from John Gray. It's about where he's been. His strikeout rate has actually been lower since his minor league tune-up. Strikes out. Nick's here, though. Second strikeout of the inning. Ends the top of the second inning and a half done. Tied at 1.
And a couple things to keep an eye on. Number one, Darren Balsley said there was a slight difference in his tempo between the first game and the second game. He was much quicker working in game number 1. Game number 2, it seemed to slow things down a little bit, so they looked to see a little bit quicker tempo out of Jacob Nix today. And the other thing is the conviction in his breaking pitches. It looked like he might have been slowing up just a little bit when throwing his changeup and his curveball. Certainly not something that you want to do here at Coors Field, so look for a little bit quicker tempo hopefully today, guys, and finishing off the curveball in the changeup to hopefully duplicate what he did in his first outing. Don, Bud, back up to you.
So it sounds like you may be tipping his pitches a little bit, if I understand you right, Scan.
Well, that can happen, and if you start slowing your arm down, that is the number one thing that hitters can pick up in a hurry. They see that arm motion slow down just a little bit. It seems imperceptible to us, but those hitters pick it up, and it doesn't go well.
Yeah, think about it. A guy has fewer than 1 second, right, to adjust and decide whether he's going to swing. So you're right. That's a great point, Bob and Don, that if a pitcher does slow up his arm, they can pick that up.
This is with a 1-0 and ball's behind here 2-0. Gerardo Parra leading it off for the Rockies. 288, 5 homers, 47 runs batted in. Parra, Desmond, and Walters. 1-1 ball game here into the bottom of the second inning. Turned out to be a beautiful night here tonight in Colorado. Last night we had rain showers, a canceled BP. Had the tarp on the field when we got here yesterday. Not today. Hot shot to first, picked by Hosmer. Going to need some help, and over is Nix to cover for the first out of the second inning. So one down.
The sounds of spring training, the sounds of Peoria, Arizona. Ball hit the right side. I could hear it from the field mics. Get over there. Eric Hosmer to his right, the Gold Glover, plenty of time. Show him the baseball and a nice little feed for the pitcher covering.
That's one thing Hosmer does very well. He has lead pitchers to the bat.
Wally Joyner was great at that.
One down here in the second inning. Ian Desmond. Desmond had 231 coming in. Has 19 home runs on the season, 67 runs batted in. And the recipient of strike one, 94 mile-an-hour fastball, picking up the outside corner.
And that's where he wants to be, both sides of the plate. Dotting in at 94, down and away, up and in. There's a changeup, nice. Oh, who's a good boy? Is that a Mastiff?
I don't know. That's a big dog.
That is a huge dog.
It's a big head.
Oh my gosh.
Dog night here at the park. They had to have 1,000 dogs on the field before the game. I mean, that was unbelievable.
I've never seen a group of canines that big at a ballpark.
No, I haven't either.
Oh.
They're all over this ballpark, mainly in the bleacher area. Enjoying a big league game.
Yeah.
This will get away. Ball four. First walk allowed by Nix. And one out walk. It's time now to get the answer to our Valley View Casino trivia question. In regards to Hunter Renfroe, leads the National League with 18 RBIs this month. Who holds the Padres record for most RBIs in any month? Ryan Klesko again.
Oh, the Pickmaster. I forgot about Ryan.
40 RBIs in May 2001.
That's a great month.
Seems like every time we go to do that, we either pick Caminetti or Vaughn, and it's always Klesko. Fouled off down the left field line, out of play.
Think about that. 40 runs driven in a month.
Yeah, that's, I mean, a good first half.
That's in May, too, right? January, February, March, April, May. 31 days in May, yeah.
One out, one on for Tony Walters. 156, 2 homers, 19 runs batted in. He's been backing up Chris Iannetta for the most part this year. Bluff there by the catcher Hedges with the door closed. Thought he might have a chance to fire it down to first base. With Walters in on the left side. A throw behind him. One. 2-1. Nix allowed 2 hits and a run in the first inning. Another throw over, not close, able to get back easily is Ian Desmond.
I'm sure that Tony Walters doesn't have blazing speed, so a good double play candidate. Working down, hit the ball on the ground. See Tony choking up on that shillelagh. They're trying to get good bat control.
On the ground and quickly by Hosmer at first base to the right field corner. Desmond is going to be waved around, going to try and score. He will without a problem, and heading for third with a triple goes Tony Walters, and the ball gets away. Walters will stay at third base, quickly backed up by Jankowski. And that triple puts the Rockies on top 2-1.
Really good piece of hitting by the Rockies catcher this evening, Tony Walters. He spins on this pitch, believe it or not, his 4th triple of the season. And I think at Coors Field, it's a greater chance when you hit it in the gaps and down the lines. He spun on this pitch nicely.
Look how far away Reyes was.
Exactly. and he was thinking 3 right out of the gate.
Infield in all the way around with 1 out, run already in. And John Gray, a chance here to help himself out. Infield in. Foul to the screen, 1-1. John Gray at the plate this year, 3 for 41. 0.73 average this season. Was the breaking ball there for strike 2. The curveball. Fights it off, foul. Still 1-2. Leonardo Parra grounding out to begin the inning. Desmond walked. Scores on the triple by Tony Walters. Swing and a miss and gets him. Big cut there by Gray. Thought it was the 3rd out. It is out number 2. And the first strikeout for Jacob Nix, 2 down.
Well, he threw him 2 breaking balls, fouled it off. He goes upstairs a little bit. The fastball for the strikeout.
Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon. Last 5 games, 368, 7 for his last 19. Singled in the first inning, stole a base, scored a run. This will get away. From third base comes Walters. He'll score, and it's 3-1 Colorado.
Not even close on that pitch. Looks like a changeup. Want to go changeup down and away. Yanked big time. And I tell you what, not much Austin Hedges can do right there. He tried his best to try to get in a good position. I think the only way is to go with the backhand, but not even close.
So the wild pitch allows Walters to score. A 2-run second inning for the Rockies. And now Blackmon with a base hit through the right side. Sharply hit. 2 for 2 in the game is Charlie Blackmon.
Jacob Nix is going to find out really quickly about making mistakes and having guys like Charlie Blackmon, a batting title under his belt. DJ LeMahieu, a batting title on his mantle. Cannot make mistakes against these guys.
Mayhew grounded out to the second baseman Jose Perella in the first inning. 0 for 1. Big game hitting streak coming in. Go to first and back to the bag safely is Blackmon. Keeping a close eye on him. He stole a base in the first inning. And gains a pretty good sized lead over there at first base in the second inning.
And that pitch count, Don, continues to rise for Jacob Nix.
Yeah, here's 44.
You know, up to this point, there just hasn't been that one pitch where he has the good feel for it. Inconsistency, trying to throw it for a strike. Off with the fastball, the breaking ball doesn't seem to be there. He yanked the changeup. He threw one good changeup earlier. Hasn't been able to find that one pitch.
Falls behind here, 2-1. Second time through this order. Mayhew now. Carlos Gonzalez waiting on deck with 2 down in the inning. Throw over, and back is Blackmon. May not be a bad count here for Blackmon to try to take off. Another check. Blackman calls for time, does a little work, a little housekeeping on the track over there at first base.
You know, we talk about pitchers in general. If their attention is solely over there at first base, it might have a result on the pitch to the plate, especially this count. 2-1. Hitters count.
Ball's behind, 3-1. I guess you could get overly concerned with the guy at first.
Sure.
Take your mind off what you're doing with the guy at the plate.
And if you were thinking, okay, the guy's got a chance to go, and then you might be a little bit too quick in your delivery, therefore you hang one up in the zone. Next thing you know, you're either backing up third or you're reaching for a new one.
Runner goes, a ground ball right to the shortstop. Galvis, who tagged the bag for the force out himself to end the inning. 2 runs in the inning. Rockies lead it now 3-1.
MLB At Bat is your #1 app to watch live Padres baseball. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Padres home screen icons, features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Travis Jankowski leading it off here in the 3rd inning. The Rockies get 2 in their half of the 2nd and have a 3-1 lead. Jankowski singled to left field in the 1st inning. Now hits ground ball right side, not hit that hard, as Desmond will flip to Gray for out number 1 here in the 3rd inning.
Travis being aggressive, right? Didn't he swing at the first pitch of the game?
He did.
Single, and he swung. Was that the first pitch?
This was the second pitch.
Second pitch, so still aggressive in the count. Trying to put some pressure on Gray.
So 1 down here in the 3rd inning. Brings up Jose Pirela. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. Came around to score the Padres' lone run tonight. Since Gray has come back from AAA, 2-0, 2.55 earned run average.
Pretty basic mechanics from the right-hander, Gray. Keeps it simple. Almost looks like he's starting off in the stretch position and then a little side step. Actually, a step right in front of his plant foot. Leg kick, release the hands, drive forward. Pretty simple.
Well, Rockies have won 7 of 13 games against the Padres this year. Ground ball through the left side by the dive of Arenado at third base. And a wide turn at first base, but Perella throws the brakes on and then has to dive back to the bag at first. A one-out single for Perella. So it brings up Eric Hosmer. Time for the Kia drive to success. Longest active hitting streaks. Eric Hosmer coming in with a 9-game hitting streak into tonight's game. Greg Allen of the Cleveland Indians, 14, the longest active streak. Hosmer with 9 does not have a hit yet tonight. Popped out to shortstop first time up. Pops it up this time back at third. Arenado into foul ground. Over the shoulder, makes the basket catch and then fires towards second. Nice play by Arenado with his back to the plate. He goes out there in foul ground and makes the catch basket style over the shoulder.
How come this does not surprise me?
Let's take a look at the Arco top tier play.
That is a long way to run. As you look at Parra, he's out of the picture. Arenado times it perfectly. He's unbelievable. That's great concentration. Knowing your ballpark.
Corey Spangenberg takes a 95-mile-an-hour fastball for strike one. Yeah, he knew he had lots of room.
Yeah.
Wasn't worried about that wall. Knew where he was. Made it look easy. Oh, 2. 2 strikeouts so far for John Gray. Walk to batter. Pitch coming up here for Gray of the night.
He's going to bounce something here, I think. Something out of the zone.
Runner goes, pitches high, no throw, stolen base for Perella. That almost acted like a pitch out. Perella able to steal second base, get into scoring position with 2 down.
Not really the best jump and a very good. Well, maybe Walters could not find the handle on that one.
That one to even the count at 2-2.
Good recognition right there by Corey, laying off that one. He swung at one earlier. The pitch prior to that high fastball when Perella stole the base.
Two down. Perella at second base. Spangenberg waiting on a 2-2 pitch. And a grounder foul will do it again. Spangenberg in his career at Coors Field hitting at .288. He's had a tough time at Coors this year though. 2 for 16. Place that he generally likes to hit for the most part. Not alone in that category by any means. Wow. Lucky to still be standing there.
That was a really good pitch by John Gray. This looks like a backdoor slider. He wanted to go down and in but missed, and Tony Walters did everything right. He framed that pitch nicely. He did not get the call. Corey gets another crack at it.
To left field, Parra coming in, and he'll make the catch below the cap high. And the Padres leave the runner at second. Rockies have a 3-1 lead after 2.5. 48 pitches here through the first 2 innings. Ready to work in the third with 3, 4, and 5 coming up here for the Rockies. Gonzalez, Arenado, and Story scheduled to bat in the inning. 3-1, Rockies on top. They got a run in the first, 2 in the second, and they're ready to go here in the third inning. Padres go into a shift on the right side of the infield. Looked like a pretty good pitch, called the ball. This will be the 50th pitch of the night for Jacob Nix. Let's take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS.
You look at the shift there. 3 heavy on the right. Well, Jacob Nix has to pitch to the scouting report in order for that to come to fruition. You got to hit your spot, right? Whether it's the breaking ball or the fastball, the ball put in play. Hopefully at one of those fielders on the right side. Now with 2 strikes, Freddie Galvis at shortstop. The lone man on the left side will back up all the way. He's got 2 feet on the outfield grass. Wow.
Wow. Full count now.
You know, that borderline low pitch and that borderline high pitch has not been called tonight.
For either pitcher, really.
Yeah. Corey Spangenberg got a call last half inning, and that pitch not called a strike.
Grounder foul that will go off the roofing of the dugout for the Rockies, and then on down the line and right. Of course, the Rockies are housed on the first base side here at Coors Field. Into the shift, it's Spangenberg, the third baseman on the right side of the infield, who throws out Gonzalez for the first out here of the bottom of the third inning. So 5-3 on that put out with the Padres in the shift, and they'll bring up Nolan Arenado. National League Triple Crown race. Nolan Arenado always in that conversation. Batting average 4th. Home runs. Tied for 2nd. RBIs. He is 4th. And of course, Freddie Freeman leading in batting average to start the night at 321. Arenado didn't like the call. Finds himself down 0-1. 0-2. Next could really use a 1-2-3 inning here. Not only just from a psyche standpoint, but also minimizing some pitches here after throwing a lot early in this outing.
Yeah, what a confidence builder that would be if you get Gonzalez, Arenado, and Story 1, 2, 3 in order here to get back in that dugout and try to chip away at that 2-run deficit. Now, I was just looking at the home road splits for this kid here, Arenado. 269 on the road, 354 at home.
That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, it is. Home run's pretty even. 16 at home, 14 on the road.
I think a lot of times when people go to vote for things, you take a look at that. I mean, I think it's something that is taken into consideration where they play their games. You think of every year the discussions about Charlie Blackmon winning a batting title, DJ LeMahieu winning a batting title. I mean, those are things that are not voted on.
Right.
You got to do that. But the things that are voted on, it seems like those guys kind of get slighted a little bit because of where they play their home game.
And it's a shame. I mean, but to me, it's like the road splits. I think they really, if you're going to put offensive numbers up here, Coors Field, that are eye-popping, I think that the road splits have to be more than average, right? The average guy. 250, 260. No, I think you got to do more.
Whoa. And Hopper to Burrell at second base. Throws out Arenado, 2 down here in the third inning.
That ball was hit hard.
Two away and brings up Trevor Story.
But then again, on the other side of the coin, in defense of Nolan Arenado, you got to take into consideration his defense. Whether it's sea level or whether it's a mile high, the guy can do it anywhere, and that weighs into voting.
Now 2 down here in the inning brings up Trevor Story, grounded out to third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. Go the center fielder over towards right center. Big gap out in left center. Most extra base hits this season. Trevor Story was 65. Matt Carpenter's put together a great season after hitting $140 into mid-May. All of a sudden, having a great year for the St. Louis Cardinals, and to get his numbers where they are, wow.
He's got an S on his chest underneath that Redbird jersey, doesn't he?
It's a huge year. To go from where he was, we saw him really struggle at Petco Park when the Cardinals were in. Down the line at third, a fair ball headed to the left field corner. Jankowski over to dig it out, but Story headed for 2. He will round second with a 2-out double. Right down the line into the left field corner, some 347 feet away.
This kid's got a chance. He probably will do it to hit 40 doubles plus this year. This one inside the bag, and Corey, 35th double for Trevor Story. Yeah, he can put it out of the ballpark. Extra base hit as well. Having a darn good year himself, the Rocky shortstop.
2 down, Story at second base, and brings up Gerardo Parra. Grounded out to first base in the second inning, 0 for 1. Two and 0. Next, got the first 2 outs, getting Gonzalez and Arenado before allowing the double by Story. So having to work a little harder here in the third inning, and more pitches. 67 so far in his outing through 2 2/3 innings.
Be interesting. 2-0. You got first base open, got a righty on deck, and Ian Desmond. Let's see this pitch here. He's throwing him 2 breaking balls to go 2-0.
Center field, Margot coming in a few steps will make the catch that ends the inning. Played 3 from Coors Field, 3-1 Rockies. from Austin Hedges last night ended up being the game winner as the Padres victorious in game 1, 4-3. For Austin Hedges, his 10th home run of the year. Part of the Padres victory here last night. Has come from behind tonight. They trail 3-1 as Austin Hedges leads it off here in the top half of the 4th inning. Lined out sharply to Arenado at third base in the 1st inning. Night game tonight. We'll play day baseball here tomorrow. And the finale of the 3-game series against the Rockies, and it's off to LA. Grounder right side. LeMahieu ranging to the outfield grass. Spins and throws. Nice play. Good rangy play from the tall second baseman, DJ LeMahieu. 1 down. That carried him astride to the outfield grass.
Going to your left. Plenty of time. Always spin towards the glove hand side, right? That brings your momentum towards first base. And then throwing accurately on the move, there's a reason why that guy's won a gold glove at second base.
And 1 away for Freddie Galvis. Struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. 0 for 1. Waves at that pitch. Fastball very much by him.
I think he was fooled on that pitch.
I think so. A little late. Two strikeouts for John Gray and 3 1/3. And not tantalizing enough there for Galvis to chase. Pitch 50 for John Gray. And a liner caught at first base by Desmond. Went down the line, and Desmond made the catch for out number 2 of the top of the 4th inning.
Well, that's a hang with him for Freddie Galvis. You square that one up. You think off the bat it's going to be extra bases, but it finds the glove of Desmond.
So 2 down here in the 4th for Franmil Reyes. Only base on balls that has been allowed by John Gray in his outing belongs to Reyes. That was in the 2nd inning. Reyes getting another start at right field. And he takes a curveball for strike 1. Strike 2. Right at the bottom of the zone. That's a call that neither pitcher has been getting so far, but he did that time.
That's where you want to be. He wants it down and away, but still splits the heart of the plate. Nice job by Walters. Kind of brought that one up a little bit, but that's a legitimate strike. I would love to see, and I know you would be as well, I would love to see Franmil just square one up and just send it to like the left center field and see how far that one goes. I mean, I'm betting if he hit one towards that big screen scoreboard out there, he could, yeah, like right around here. I think he could pepper that.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out. Ends the inning. 3rd strikeout for Gray. Rockies enjoy a 3-1 lead. All right, Mike and Mark, thanks very much. Here the Rockies have a 3-1 lead over the Padres. Bottom of the 4th inning. Jacob Nix about to throw his 70th pitch of his outing as Ian Desmond leads it off and takes a pitch high. 2-0 to Desmond, bats out of the 7th spot. And followed by Walters and Gray here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fouled off down the right field line, out of play. Padres got a run in the first. Rockies come back with a run of their own in the first and then tack on 2 more in the 2nd inning. Strike 3. Desmond knew it. Takes with him the 2nd strikeout for Jacob Nix. 1 down here in the 4th inning. It's kind of frozen there.
Yeah, hopefully the bottom of the order, Jacob Nix can plow through these guys and then get back in there. That's exactly where he wants that pinpoint fastball, right on the outside corner. Nicely done.
1 down in the 4th. Brings up Tony Walters. He tripled a drive and a run. His first plate appearance in the 2nd inning. Picked up his 20th RBI of the year. Making his 42nd start of the year. A possible 129 games. Iannetta getting the lion's share of games. This one foul back. 1-1. He had 2 triples in a game earlier this year for the first time in franchise history. Back on July 6th at Seattle. So he run a little bit and tripled in tonight's game.
I'm trying to think of Seattle.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
Safeco Field. Sure. I mean, you pitched there, right? Did you pitch there at Safeco?
No.
Oh, no, you did.
Kingdom.
Strike call, 1-2. Never got to the Kingdom.
Love the Kingdom. I love pitching there.
Fly ball down the left field line, headed foul.
You know why? Because the stands were so close back of home plate. It looked like you were right on top of the plate.
Were they elevated too?
They were.
Above? Yeah.
Kind
of like the Metrodome situation at home plate.
Did not like the Metrodome.
No?
No.
It was a bad place to broadcast from. I can tell you that from my vantage point. I didn't like it either.
Did some games there with the Padres, and it's like you're in a bunker, right?
Yeah, because the overhang from up top was like there was this cement. It was like a little area you could see through, and that was it. Cement on the bottom, cement on the top, lots of cement. This one rolled over foul.
I think I banged my head a couple times. Like,
yes, you could do that.
Yeah.
On cement. You know what I didn't like? Was walking in there. Because when you open the front door to go in, because it was all suction to keep the roof up.
That's right, yeah.
It would mess my moss up. So like I had messy moss. To right field, Reyes will go back, and Reyes makes the catch on the warning track for out number 2. He's headed in the wrong direction initially, but got back to make the catch.
Oh, that was interesting when the ball was off the bat. But in this game of baseball, it's a results-based business. And the final stab at it, yep, that's an out. And that's all that matters.
2 down in the 4th inning. Here's John Gray again, the pitcher. So you open the door, and that's how your day starts.
Yeah.
Your moss gets all messy, and then you can't do the open without
but you
thinking
carry
about
a comb. You carry that brush in your.
But it's never the same. After the final product has been put in the hotel before you leave, it's never the same.
How much time you put into your moss?
I don't have much moss, so it doesn't take long. It's just a matter of when you apply the product. In there for a strike. I mean, because I don't know if you noticed that the moss doesn't move much.
It's a good look.
Ever.
You know what I used to do back in the day when I had the flat top? Like business in front, party in the back? Yeah, that's called a tease. I'll tell you next half inning.
Tchaikovsky's under it, and he makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3-4. It's a 3-1 Rockies lead. Hyundai, get a great deal, more than a great deal on all new Hyundai vehicles. See your Hyundai dealer today. And by Mission Federal Credit Union, your success is our bottom line. Well, it is a dog night here at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Dogs doing tricks, dogs just sitting, dogs everywhere. This ballpark is filled with dogs.
I love dogs.
They look to be having a fantastic time.
Man's best friend.
A lot of smiling dogs, I've noticed.
And, you know, dogs have to be groomed. You were talking about Moss earlier.
Yes.
It's very important to keep your canine groomed. Who's a good boy? Yeah. Oh. That had no chance.
Doubling up on the treats. Dubs.
No chewing either. I mean, that's just straight like.
That's inhaling. Oh, more. Oh, yeah. Manuel Margot leads it off here in the 5th inning.
So back in the 80s, late 80s, when the mullet was in, and I sported one, loved it. You know, business up front, party in the back. I'd have the mullet, but I'd get out of the shower and I would dry my hair.
It's tough for me to imagine. This is the left center, and there is Blackman to make the catch. I mean, I'm just trying to.
I'd get the blow dryer.
Visualize hair there.
Yeah, I'd get the blow dryer out.
Yeah.
And blow dry it up so it'd like kind of stand up a little bit. Then I would take just the hairspray.
Just for men?
No. The hairspray, and I'd spray it.
Would you spike it?
And then I take a comb and kind of spike it up so then it would harden. You know, like Winger right here and Rat, lead singer we just saw.
So this was a process.
Night Ranger, yeah, and then in the back just kind of dry. Yeah, there you go.
How long did it get in the back?
Just like shoulder length. And then when it dried, it'd be like spiky up front.
How long did all this take?
5 minutes. Those were the days.
Pictures you could share?
Oh yeah.
On the ground, right side, over goes LeMahieu. And he'll throw out Nix for the 2nd out of the 5th inning. 7 in a row. Tired here. 2 down in the 5th.
In fact, you know me and my movies.
Yeah, you like some movies.
Yeah, you want to watch a good movie with some good moss?
Yeah.
What do you get? Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap. You got to watch it. It's brilliant. It's a great cast. Christopher Guest. It's that whole group. Michael McKean. It's remarkable.
Worth my time?
Oh yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Some of your recommendations have been a little iffy. Pitch in there for a strike to Travis Jankowski. 1 for 2.
See, now Travis has got the party in the back, right?
Yes, he does. That's definitely a party.
I wonder if he gets like split ends.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Yeah. Split ends, great group in the 80s, by the way.
High strike call there.
Split ends, S-P-L-I-T-E-N-Z. Split ends.
Late swing just above the Padres dugout, off the screened-in area.
Since we're on the subject of movies, John Gray, they got Eric Stoltz, Pulp Fiction. Right?
Yeah, a little bit. One, two. A little bit low, and it evens at 2-2.
Good layoff for Travis on that last breaking ball. That was, you used the word tantalizing enough for a hitter to, right? That was close enough to swing at, but he took it nicely. Wow. It's a lot of work right there.
Yeah, that's longer than your 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You were talking about. 2-2. In the air to left field towards the line. Parra will get there. It's a 1-2-3 5th inning for John Gray. 3-1 Rockies on top.
continues to be transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
The top of the order, Charlie Blackmon leading it off and taking strike one. He's 2 for 2 in the game. It's single to center, single to right. Stolen a base, scored a run.
Well, Jacob Nix has settled down a little bit the last 2 innings. First 2, a lot of pitches. The pitch count is up there, but a double left stranded in the third. 1, 2, 3. Now top of the order. So a big test for the right-hander. Blackmon, LeMahieu, and Gonzalez.
His first 1, 2, 3 inning of his outing. Grounder foul this time.
And ever so important, Don, to keep the Rockies at 3. The 2-run deficit for San Diego.
Padres took game 1 of the series here last night. There's a grounder at Perella at second base. Charlie Blackmon is out number 1 at the bottom of the 5th inning. Send it down to Bob Scanlon.
Don, that last out was on a changeup, and it sort of brings up the point that the changeup by some in this organization is deemed to be the better of his off-speed pitches that Jacob Nix throws. Now, he's more comfortable with the curveball. We saw him try to go to that early in the ball game. Only 2 changeups out of the first 30 pitches that he threw. But we've seen in the last few innings, he's used that changeup much more effectively and threw another nice one there to record the first out of this inning. It'll be interesting to see if that changeup becomes more of a confidence pitch for him the more he uses it, guys.
All right, Scan, thanks very much.
Yeah, you know, I go back to that last out in the 3rd inning. Remember the fly ball to center, Gerardo Parra? It was a 2-0 count, and he threw a changeup to get him out in front. It was a lazy fly ball. So, yeah, he's getting the feel for it later.
Mayhew 0 for 2. And a check swing grounder headed to second base. Perella's been busy. 2 down here in the 5th inning.
When you're America's best value, you don't need some over-the-top celebration.
2 down here in the 5th inning. Carlos Gonzalez now coming up for the Rockies. Singled in the first, grounded out in the 3rd. That single in the 1st inning drove in a run. 53rd RBI of the year. His return to the Rockies. Padres shifting on him on the right side. Bring Corey Spangenberg, 3rd baseman, over to the right side. Join Perella and Hosmer.
Here's that changeup Bob Scanlon was just talking about.
Ball 2. 93 on the fastball. Just missing inside. Nix is now retired 6 in a row. And 10 of the last 11. Line a foul ball, the indication. That was close. On the right field line off the bat of Carlos Gonzalez. First base umpire Nick Lentz had to turn around and then make that call kind of on the fly. And it looks like Gonzalez wants the Rockies to challenge this. They're not going to. So apparently everything they have seen indicates it was indeed a foul ball. This would be a good look. That's foul.
Yeah, that's foul.
Two-two pitch to Gonzalez. And a ground ball right side into the shift. It's Spangenberg, the 3rd baseman, throws him out. A 1-2-3 inning, 3 ground ball outs for Nix. 3-1 Rockies. to left field. That would score Charlie Blackmon. And the Rockies tied it up 1-1. Of course, Spangenberg driving this one off the wall of the bottom of the wall. And the Padres would score a run. This one down the right field line, scoring Desmond on the triple by Walters. Walters would later score on a wild pitch. And it is a 3-1 lead right now for Colorado. Jacob Nix going the first 5 innings in this game. John Gray 5 innings. Corey Spangenberg 1 for 2. Tony Walters 1 for 2.
You know, Don, the one thing I look at this point of the ball game, 3-1. Looks like it could have gotten much nastier for Jacob Nix and the Padres, but he found that changeup. Pitched well the last 3 innings and keeping it only a 2-run deficit for the Padres here at Coors. I mean, that can change very, very quickly. We know that.
Balsley meeting with Jacob Nix, coming off a very good inning. Very good couple of innings, really, retiring 7 in a row.
Looks like you're getting a handshake there from Robbie Erlin, so it could be a night for Jacob Nix.
A total of 96 pitches through 5 innings for Nix. Perella with a swing and a miss, 2-2. There's action in the pen. Phil Maton.
And you know what? 96 pitches, you said, right, Donnie? 96 at Coors Field for the first time. That's going to take its toll. I was talking to Clayton Richard about that, about the first time like he pitched here, and he was like, whoa, there's a difference pitching here. So he's going to feel it. Jacob Nix is going to feel it.
Swing and a miss, and Perella strikes out 4th K. John Gray, what are you, out of gas earlier? Is that
yeah, the elevation, the oxygen level, the what it does to your body, and it just wears you out. The recovery time. It's tougher. You don't get the same feel of your pitches. The dryness takes its toll.
I've heard some guys talk a little bit about the sleep factor too, not sleeping great here.
Got that right. I know everybody's different, but I've always had difficulty sleeping here. How about you?
A little bit. Yeah. It seems like you wake up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Through the course of the night.
Got to stay hydrated. I know that sounds cliche anywhere, but no, especially here.
One down, Eric Hosmer. This one will bounce in. That's what I kind of wondered about. I know Major League Baseball was talking about perhaps entertaining thoughts of going to Mexico City. We were there, what, 2 years ago in spring training, and that's 2,000 feet higher than here. So, I mean,
yeah,
only imagine the effects it would have on players going there. Swing and a miss for Hosmer.
Well, here's the breaking ball, and we talked about, remember Bob Scanlon talked about being aggressive with Jacob Nix. Same thing with John Gray. You have to be aggressive with that breaking ball. You cannot guide it. You got to throw it a little lower and be aggressive with it.
Pretty defensive swing right there by Hosmer, just protecting the plate. Chops it foul, stays alive. 1-2.
Remember the AAA club used to be in Colorado Springs here for the Rockies? That's higher. That's 6,000 plus feet. Really? That's higher than here. Now they're in Albuquerque.
The Sky Sox?
Used to be the Sky Sox, that's right. Colorado Springs, yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Hosmer. Corey Spangenberg waiting on deck. Padres trailing by 2. And a ground ball left side. Arenado backed up on it. 2 down. 10 in a row retired by John Gray. He's got into a groove here through the middle innings. Brings up Corey Spangenberg. Doubled in the first inning to drive in a run off the base of the wall out there in center, and lined out to left in the third. Up in the grass at third is Nolan Arenado. Spangenberg takes strike 1. Picked up a step now, but was coming in. If Spangenberg entertained any thoughts of bunting, which he will do time to time. Strike two. That call is happening now at the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, and John Gray's maintaining the velocity at 95. Good pinpoint control on that pitch.
Fouled off to the left, out of play. 1-2.
Well, Corey had the right idea. That was a backdoor breaking ball, trying to send it down that left field line. And saying that, the defense for these Rockies, Gerardo Parra, is shading that left field line in left field.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Spangenberg. Strikeout number 5 for Gray. He's retired 11 in a row. 3-1 Rockies.
He's worth the price of admission. We're talking about Nolan Arenado. Looking on the shift, he's playing almost towards the shortstop position. A long way to go. The flash look. Great concentration. Over the shoulder grab. This should not surprise you. The Gold Glover over at third base makes it look easy. And, you know, covering a lot of ground as well. Gerardo Parra was out of the picture. And what makes it even more amazing is that with that shift and all that way to go.
Now new pitcher Phil Maton takes over for Jacob Nix here in the 6th inning.
And he is going to have to face Arenado's story in Parra. His 36th game for Phil. Pretty decent splits, 260 and 250 versus lefties and righties. Bullpen did a great job last night. Phil did not pitch in the game last night, so hopefully he follows suit as the bullpen preserved that 4-3 victory for the Potteries last night.
Not bad tonight from Jacob Nix.
He made quite an adjustment, Don. He most certainly did, and he should feel good about this outing.
5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, walked 1, struck out 2 through 96 pitches in his 5 innings of work, and now hands it over to the bullpen. Phil Maton first out of the pen. When he allows 3 runs, he does depart on the hook. It's certainly much better than last outing where he did not get out of the first inning.
And you know, I think mentally for a pitcher like Jacob, as he sits down and reflects, he's probably, you know, if I could adjust at a ballpark like this and hold this lineup, the Rockies, to 3 runs, I think that should bode well into his next start.
I would think the way he finished his outing too would go a long way. To right field for a base hit in front of Reyes. Nolan Arenado with his first hit of the night.
Yeah, you make a good point, because you'd rather finish. You'd rather have the outing obviously like he did rather than flip-flop it, right? 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and then you give it, and then the last 2 innings you give up a 1 and then a 2. No, I think he would be very happy with looking at his ledger this evening.
Tired of the last 9 out of 10 hitters that he faced.
And the outfield playing very deep on that last base hit by Nolan Arenado. Franmil Reyes was really playing deep in right field.
So a leadoff single for Arenado, who's at first, and it brings up Trevor Story. Line to the gap in right center field for a base hit. Margot cuts it off. Heading for third is Arenado. He'll get there. And it's first and third with nobody out for the Rockies in the 6th inning.
That's one thing that you could do a lot of here at Coors Field, and that's go first to third on a base hit to the outfield. It's like a slider. Trevor Story stays on it nicely and takes it the opposite way. And as soon as that ball was struck, Nolan Arenado on first base knows where the outfielders are playing, and he is going to take that extra 90 feet. And he just gets the inside corner. I thought he missed it. And the Padres are just appealed at second base, and they signaled safe.
First and third, nobody out. Gerardo Parra coming up. Parra's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to first and flied out to center. Grounded foul for strike 1. It's on trying to find his bearings here after a tough beginning to this outing here in the 6th. Back-to-back base hits. First Arenado, then Story. Oh, and 2. We'll talk a lot about the Rockies' offense at Coors Field, but we also have to talk about their pitching at Coors Field. It's been very good. Can't help but wonder if Bud Black has not had an impact on that, being a very good former pitching coach. I mean, I wonder how involved was he with the Padres when he was a manager?
I think he was very involved, but I think he delegates, like with Darren Balls, I know for here. He let Darren do his thing, and he would. If he had something to say, because he'd always be out at the bullpens watching pitchers and have his say, but he delegated the pitching duties, obviously, to Darren Balsley. But I think that's one of the beauties of having a pitching coach, former pitcher, as a manager. I experienced Roger Craig, too. Knew the game very well. Bud Black knows the game very well. So I think he knows his areas to where he can leave his pitching coach alone, but yet interjects when needed. And I think it's been a big influence on the starters.
I think he did, according to home plate umpire Jerry Meals, and a strikeout needed that of Gerardo Parra for the first out here of the 6th inning.
Up the ladder, most definitely goes.
I thought you were going to jump out of the booth on that one. If they had not called that a strike, that he went, I think you're climbing out of the booth.
Going down one of these guy wires here towards the backstop and causing a ruckus.
You almost came out of your shoes.
Yeah.
Throw to first, and back to the bag at first is Story. First and third, one down for the Rockies, on top 3-1. Desmond fouls it off to the right, out of play.
Well, here's your second place guy. Check that. He's grounded into 9 double plays. Tied for second in that category of the Rockies. 2 guys are at 12. And Phil Maton is 1 pitch, 1 ground ball from leaving him stranded. It'd be huge for Phil Maton.
Ball and 2 strikes to Ian Desmond, who has walked And struck out looking. Getting his first look tonight at Phil Maton. First 2 plate appearances against the Padres starter, Jacob Nix. Runner goes at first, pitches outside, no throw. Stolen base for Trevor Story. Head first slide at second base.
And the Rockies probably thinking along those lines as far as staying out of the double play by sending that runner.
Second and third, 1 down. Desmond with a count of 2-2. Had been down 0-2. So Bud Black keeping the pressure on here. Infield in. And a fly ball to right field. Reyes going back at the wall. That ball's going to be off the wall. Scoring from third is Arenado. Story behind him. 2-run score. Throw goes to third, and it will be late. It's a triple, and 2 runs in for the Rockies. Colorado takes a 5-1 lead. Wall ball, triple for Ian Desmond down the right field line. Time now for the Bill Howe play of the game.
This pitch is up in the zone right at the belt buckle. And rather trying to pull that ball, just taking it. And you can see just hitting the ball to the outfield the opposite way what damage it could do. No way for Reyes to get that one. So now you got to play the carom, and you don't know which way that ball's going to bounce.
So Desmond 90 feet away, infield still in all the way around, and Walters grounds one to short. Galvis is coming home, tag there, and the out at the plate of Ian Desmond. So the infield in cuts down the additional run as Desmond thrown out 6-2 at the plate for the second out of the inning.
Galvis has got to be quick here. No room for error. The backhand, he gets rid of it quickly. Then Austin Hedges with the tag out in front of home plate. It's a big run. Sure, it's 5-1. They've tacked on 2 here, but still can change quickly here at Coors Field.
The pitcher John Gray, kind of a half swing. A big triple by Ian Desmond. Gives the Rockies some breathing room here, now on top by 4. Two runs charged here to Phil Maton, first out of the pen tonight. Jacob Nix charged with 3 runs. Phil Maton charged with 2 so far. 2-1 to John Gray. And a miss for ball 3. Gray has struck out swinging and flat out to left in 2 plate appearances. But again, that was against Nix. Full count now. Runner goes on a fly ball to left field for Gray, sending Jankowski back for out number 3 that ends the inning. But 2 runs in the inning for the Rockies, who take a 5-1 lead. is Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. By Jack in the Box. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls, only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. And by Staples, the back-to-school specialty store. Union Station here in downtown Denver, not far from Coors Field. 5-1, Rockies have the lead as we head to the top half of the 7th inning. And more John Gray. Why not? Pitching great. He's retired his last 11 in a row and works his way into the 7th inning here now. Has a bigger lead on top 5-1.
A little bit more of a cushion. He's feeling comfortable out there. He's got the middle of the order for the Padres. He's done pretty well against Hedges, Galvis, and Reyes.
0 for 2 is the Padres catcher tonight, having lined out to third in the first, grounded out to second base in the 4th inning. Popped up into right center field. Blackman, the center fielder, will make the catch in front of the right fielder, Carlos Gonzalez. First out of the 7th inning. I feel like Gray has gotten better as this game has gone along. First couple of innings, Padres were able to get a run, had some base runners, had a walk in the second, and boy, he has really settled in. Only one runner has reached since the 2nd inning. That was a base hit by Perella. He's now retired 12 in a row and 15 of the last 16.
And the Rockies have to be smiling ear to ear. Why? Because in this pennant race in the NL West, they need John Gray. I mean, it's tight in the wild card. It's tight in the division. After coming back from AAA, he has ironed things out, it seems like.
Yeah, they need John Gray.
Yeah,
they really
absolutely
do.
They do.
To start the day, the Rockies game and a half back of the Diamondbacks walked off last night with a victory. And well, the Rockies were being beaten by the Padres here last night, game 1. So they were just a half game back going into last night's action, but a game and a half back, and everybody keeping an eye on the scoreboards again tonight.
Last road trip for the Rockies this year, Don, before their final week at home, is against the Giants for 3, Dodgers for 3, Arizona for 3.
High drive to right field off the bat of Freddie Galvis. That is deep far, and it is gone. Home run. Freddie Galvis down the right field line gets his 11th home run of the year, and it's now 5-2. Boy, he turned on that one. Long drive to right field for Freddie Galvis. Breaks up a string of 12 in a row retired by John Gray.
You know how I love trivia, right? You know what else I love besides trivia? Launch angle. This is some serious launch angle from Freddie Galvis. Keeping it fair above the tunnel that we see in the second deck down the right field line.
I thought it might be too high.
Too high?
Too high.
What do you mean? It's gone.
Franmil Reyes will take a liner the other way. Gonzalez will not get there. He'll play it on a hop. And Franmil Reyes has got himself a base hit.
And this is how quickly things can turn around. A blast, a single, maybe a walk, another blast, extra base hit. Stay tuned, ... So
1 out, Reyes at first base, and it brings up Manuel Margot. They had Sun Wong Oh up in the pen last inning, and he is up right now again. For the first, and Reyes back to the bag. And Desmond making sure. There is O, who we saw pitch in last night's game. Warmed up last inning, back up again. John Gray about to throw his 90th pitch of his outing. Renfroe has grabbed a bat and has come out on deck. Catcher Walters now going out to talk to Gray. And here comes Buddy Black. So that was to buy some time. made the move yet. Calling people in.
Yeah.
This may be just a strategic conversation. Nope, gonna make the move. That was weird.
Yeah.
A little different, but a pitching change nevertheless. Nice outing for John Gray. He'll get a nice hand on his way off. 5-2 Rockies. Ready to come out of the game. As he comes out a little frustrated after giving up the home run and another hit. San Juan O comes into the game now for the Rockies, second straight night he has worked.
We saw him last night. He came in the 8th inning. 1 inning, 1 hit. He struck out 2. 60th game. And the season totals with the Blue Jays and the Rockies. Making sure who he's got on the comebacker right there. Second baseman or shortstop. For that forced throw at second base.
A home run by Freddie Galvis. 11th home run of the year. Padres a little closer now. Manuel Margot takes ball 1. Margot 0 for 2 tonight, has grounded into a fielder's choice and flied out to center. Freddie Galvis all of a sudden hitting home runs. 6 home runs in his last 16 games. After he hit just 1 in the previous 41 games. That was a total of 11 on the year. Ball and a strike to Margot with 1 out and runner at first. 1-2.
Well, heavy day of some breaking balls right there to Manuel, right out of the gate. Righty on righty, putting a wrinkle in him. Scoreless in 10 of his 11 appearances with the Rocks. It's over 10 2/3 innings of work.
Ground ball. LeMahieu will go to second base for 1, and that's all they'll get. Lead runner in Reyes at second base. 4-6 on the force out there. Margot reaches at first on the fielder's choice, and that'll bring up a pinch hitter in Hunter Renfroe. .244, 14 homers, 45 runs batted in. That's with 2 down here in the inning. And batting in the spot of Phil Maton. Maton working an inning and charged with 2 runs. Back to the bag at first is Margot. Diamondbacks, who are leading the division, are leading tonight 2-0 against the Angels at home at Chase Field. They played 4 innings tonight. For first, and back to the bag is Margot again. Look at the National League West heading into tonight's action. Mentioned Rockies lost a full game last night with the loss to the Padres, while Arizona was walking off with a win against the Angels. It's getting late.
Yeah, especially the way they're bunched up, right? Isn't every game like a must-win?
Kind of get into the playoffs already.
Yeah.
That kind of mode. Short leashes for a lot of your starters.
And there's legitimately 5 teams in that National League wildcard race. St. Louis, Milwaukee, Colorado, Philadelphia, Los Angeles. Going into tonight.
And St. Louis has actually gone by Milwaukee. They've had quite a run under their new manager. That's strike 3. Hunter Renfroe strikes out looking, and that will end the top of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch. Freddie Galvis with a home run, his 11th of the year, gets the Padres closer. But it is 5-2 Colorado at the end of 6.5 from Coors Field in Denver. Padres, we head into the bottom of the 7th inning back at Coors Field in Denver. And Miguel Diaz checks in for the Padres.
Well, only his 3rd game this season, Miguel. He's got the good fastball, the really tight, sharp breaking ball. You know, the strikeouts are there. Twice as many as innings pitched. He can get a little wild sometimes. Let's see if he's aggressive in the zone, as he will greet the top of the order for these Diamondbacks. Last outing was against the Diamondbacks. He's had some time. That was on Friday at home. The last time Miguel was on the bump.
Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon leading it off for Colorado here in the 7th inning. Blackmon with a couple of hits, single to center, single to right. He's grounded out to second, so a 2-for-3 night in the top spot of the Rockies order. Well, tonight, Jacob Nix, 5 innings, 3 runs. Phil Maton went an inning, giving up 2 runs. On the hook is Nix, the starter. Jammed is Blackmon, and he fouls it back 1-2.
So already we've seen 3 pitches from Miguel Diaz. The fastball missed. He threw him a nice change up for a strike, and then that breaking ball there to get Blackmon into the hole 1-2.
Opposite foul off to the left out of play. Mayhew, then Gonzalez to follow here in the 7th inning. Swing and a miss, and Diaz, good start to his outing, strikes out Charlie Blackmon. One down in the 7th inning. 85, and that pitch was up.
That's some serious gas right there at 96. Thank you very much. After throwing him the slider and the combio, blows the heat right by him.
So one down in the 7th, and it brings up DJ LeMahieu. Mayhew 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice, grounded into a fielder's choice as well. Chops one over the mound, up the middle, into center field, and a base hit for DJ LeMahieu. His first hit of the night, the 9th hit for the Rockies. Well, checking out Padres on deck. El Paso against Albuquerque tonight. And Logan Allen, left-hander we saw some of in spring training. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. They were unearned. Walked 2, struck out 7 through 92 pitches. 3 starts, a 1.06 ERA. Pitching for the Chihuahuas.
See you in the big leagues.
Padres on deck.
Love it.
1 out, 1 on. Carlos Gonzalez singled in the first inning and grounded out. His next 2 plate appearances, they shift on him. Sprawling there was Hedges to block that. They'll keep the shift tight to the infield with the double play possibility still in order. Spangenberg moving from third base to the right side of the infield.
You see where you have Galvis and Spangenberg. You look at it from our vantage point. 2 guys that have the better range. Got Perella over towards first base side. Freddie very athletic. There's Jose on the right. On the bottom, I should say. In the top, Corey.
Five runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Rockies. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Padres. 1 out in the 7th inning. DJ LeMahieu at first base, held on by Hosmer. Carlos Gonzalez waiting on a 1-1 pitch. That's strike 2. 95 and on the corner.
Miguel Diaz is not afraid to pump the strike zone.
We're in the 7th inning tonight, and this is an area where the Rockies have not played their best baseball late in games. Rockies have been outscored by 62 runs in the 7th inning and later. 3rd worst differential in Major League Baseball. Better than only Kansas City and Miami in that category. So being outscored late.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of their damage early.
You know, I mentioned it last night. Remember in the 8th inning? Only 31 runs scored for the Rockies this year in the 8th frame.
All right, right side here. Spangenberg in the shift, goes to second for 1, to first, not in time. They do cut down the lead runner in that weird alignment they got on the right side with the shift in place. But you got a guy in Spangenberg who's certainly used to playing second base.
Yeah, how
right
about
side
that?
Of the infield.
You got the 5-6 put out at second, right? And the ball hit to his left, spinning, as I mentioned earlier, for infielders, spinning towards the glove hand side and getting that lead runner.
2 down, runner at first, and Gonzalez, and it brings up Nolan Arenado. Arenado has grounded out to second twice and single to right. Meanwhile, the Rockies have double-barreled action in their pen. Ottavino and McGee both warming. McGee, the left-hander, saw Adam Ottavino pitch in last night's game. In there for strike 1 and 1. Why are we rearranging the booth in the 7th inning? What are you doing?
How come it's a shocker that I know you were going to say that? I was just trying to rearrange my monitor here.
In the 7th inning? It's been like that for 2 hours. Why would we change it?
Kind of bothered me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I'll tell you in between innings.
Oh boy. 1-1 will miss, and it's 2-1.
No, you know, I'm going to leave it. The great ones adjust.
Yeah. And I see all of this movement and this changing of monitors. Extreme close-up, by the way. Wow.
I'm going to just leave it.
I mean,
it's all good.
2 hours, it's one way. All of a sudden, we're going to start rearranging the entire booth.
Well, Donnie, I learned something a long time ago in this business. The great ones adjust, and I think I'm just going to leave it.
Instead of making the adjustment?
Yeah. No, I'm adjusting.
You are going to adjust, not make an adjustment to the. I mean, they work long and hard, the crew, to set this whole booth up the way it's supposed to be set up. For you to come in the 7th inning with 2 outs and all of a sudden start moving stuff around, not good.
Yeah. There's Sammy.
Now, let's do the problem.
There's Mindy, stage manager. Sammy, give us a wave.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Good crew here.
So you're just going to go ahead and rearrange what they did.
Sure.
Just because you're you. That's outside, and that's ball 4 to Arenado. First walk allowed by Diaz. First and second, 2 down.
Didn't give much to Arenado, but now you got to deal with Trevor Story, who is also a threat in this Rockies lineup. That's a given.
Who isn't in this Rockies lineup?
Yeah, you're right.
2 on, 2 down.
So do you think it's a case of
pick your poison?
Pick your poison, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He really didn't look like he was going after
No.
Arenado at all. Pitched around him. The walk is only the second walk allowed by Padres pitching in the game. Foul back to the screen for Trevor Story. So Diaz been 95, 96 since coming in. Even more effective when he can stay on those corners.
And Don, you and I talked to Andy quite a bit regarding pitching and matchups, and sometimes he'll say, you know what, and I'm not saying that's the case here, but he might say, you know what, in that situation, the way we pitched to Arenado, right, didn't give much hit. I like the stuff of Miguel Diaz, how it plays against Trevor Story. I'm not saying that's the case, but what I'm saying, we have heard that before, to where there might be a pitch around, or there might be whatever, and he likes certain matchups against certain hitters regarding the stuff that the pitcher has against that certain hitter.
Did you find it difficult to pitch around a guy when you were told to pitch around a guy?
No, not really. No. I was used to throwing balls all the time, so it was like, no worries, I can do that.
Swing and a miss, and he goes after Trevor Story very nicely and strikes him out to end the 7th inning. To the 8th we go, 5-2 Rockies. Rockies have the lead as we start the 8th inning, and a new pitcher for the Rockies, Adam Ottavino.
Saw him last night in the 9th. Enters his 59th game, and very, very good numbers for the right-hander. Throws across his body, funky delivery, big sweeping breaking ball that he'll throw at any time. Low 90s on the heater. Speaking of Goldschmidt and those Diamondbacks, now he extends 27-game on-base streak for Goldie.
Jankowski fouls it off, evens the count at 1-1. Travis with a single back in the first inning. 1 for 3 game. He's grounded out and flied out since. Center fielder Charlie Blackmon over towards left center for him to go the other way. That's where his base hit went. Ottavino takes over for O. We got 2 outs in the 7th inning. Didn't allow a hit nor a run. Didn't walk anybody. Struck out a batter. John Gray, pitcher of record. Went 6 1/3 tonight through 89 pitches. Tied up there was Jankowski, and it's 2-2.
That's that sweeping slider I was just talking about. Looks like when this ball comes out of the hand of Ottavino, it's in the right-handed batter's box, and then it ends up down by the back foot.
Strike 3 call. Jankowski goes looking for the first out of the 8th inning.
He's probably got that slider in the back of his mind. Walters wants it in, but he does a nice frame job. That's a legitimate strike. 93, top of the zone for the called third.
1 down here in the 8th inning. Brings up Jose Perella.
Really?
Perella grounded into a fielder's choice in the first, would score a run. Singled, stole a base in the 3rd, struck out swinging in the 6th inning. Now hits a fly ball down the left field line. Gerardo Parra headed over and under to make the catch shy of the track for out number 2. Had to go a ways to get there, but he did. 2 down. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, crooked number in the first. It was a straight number. 1 run in the first frame for San Diego. That's not good for me. And then clean D for Knicks. Fielded 10 ground balls. No errors in Knicks' 5 innings. So it's been a close one. It's still a close one. Padres only trailing by 3. So what would my grade be tonight, Donnie? C-?
I have a tough time grading you because I think it's a tough job. Eric Hosmer stands in and takes a strike. I know the professor was not afraid to throw out a grade on you on a nightly basis.
He was a tough grader, and I respected that.
He threw around a lot of F's.
Yeah,
I recall.
oh, believe me. So did I.
Swing and a miss. Hosmer down 0-2. Two down in the 8th. Adam Ottavino has come in. He struck out Jankowski. Perella to fly out to left. Jumps ahead of Hosmer 0-2. Very close, but inside. Not close, and it's 2-2. 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. Padres trailing 5-2. Corey Spangenberg waiting on deck. Foul off to the left out of play. We'll do it again. 2-2. Hosmer's got a 9-game hitting streak on the line right now. Could be his last plate appearance of the night. 0 for 3 tonight. Swing and a miss. Strikes out to end things here in the 8th inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Ottavino. 5-2 Rockies. On the mound for the Padres. Second inning of relief for Diaz. Gerardo Parra is going to lead it off here for Colorado. Parra 0 for 3. He's grounded down, flied out, struck out. Rockies enjoying a 5-2 lead as they bat here in the home half of the 8th inning. Fly ball, center field. Manuel Margot going back, still going. He will get there. Backpedal onto the warning track for out number 1. 1 out in the 8th inning. Ian Desmond coming up. Time now for the Carl's Jr. star of the game, Desmond.
Let's go back to the 6th inning. He's that 2-run triple. Made it 5-2 Rockies. Taking that high fastball the opposite way. Really good piece of hitting. As you go down the lines here at Coors Field, you can run for days. And in this case, a triple for Ian Desmond.
1 out in the 8th. Desmond also has walked. Closer getting up now for the Rockies, it appears. And what right now is a safe situation. Yeah, there's Wade Davis. Grounder deep short and out of the reach of Freddie Galvis into left field. Second hit of the night for Ian Desmond, a 1-out single.
Ball hit sharply to the right of Freddie Galvis. Let's see another look at the Padres shortstop underneath the glove. We see Freddie make a lot of good plays out there at shortstop. Thought that was a catchable ball, but that ball scoots underneath his glove.
The pitch hitter coming up here, and Ryan McMahon the next hitter. This will actually be Tony Walters first. Then McMahon. Walters the catcher. 1 for 3. Runner goes at first. Pitch is a strike. Throw is going to go into center field. So Desmond just picks himself up, takes third base. Stolen base, E2. Runner at third with 1 down.
Trying to pad that 5-2 lead. A high leg kick, and then Austin just tries to rush it. Ends up on the second baseman's side of second base, airmails it, and the Rockies 90 feet away from putting up their 6th run of the night.
Infield in all the way around. Walters will try to drive it in. Fouls it off over by the Rockies dugout. 25 pitches of relief for Miguel Diaz since coming into this game. Liner to center. Margot moves over and makes the catch. Tagging up at third is Desmond. Throw is going to be cut off. Throw the plate is thrown away. Rockies get another run, take a 6-2 lead. Sac fly for Tony Walters, his second RBI of the game.
Desmond had to scamper back to third base. Look, he's not a third of the way down. This ball is not a high fly ball, it's a line drive, so he has to get back to the bat quickly, and then he uses that. It was almost like a starter's block, and you could see that ball offline. It was up the third base line, cut by Eric, and then by that time, I think even a perfect throw, there's no way they're going to get him.
So 2 down. Ryan McMahon will now pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. So pinch hitting here for Adam Ottavino. It's no longer a save situation for the Rockies. Interesting to see if they still bring in Wade Davis. They want all these games. It may not be a save situation, but Bud Black may still want him to finish it off.
Yep.
McMahon pinch hit. Will pop it up, foul off to the left out of play. In last night's game, and here he is again tonight. Play day baseball here tomorrow. Padres and Rockies wrapping up the 3-game series. Davis is now sat down, so apparently they're not going to go with the closer in a non-save situation. The additional run tacked on here by Colorado.
Well, hopefully the Padres can bounce back in the 9th. There's a Padre fan out there celebrating his 17th birthday today. Jason Russell. He's been sick for 2 years, in and out of Rady and Cleveland Clinic. He can still smile. He's a big-time Padre fan. He wants to see a Padre comeback tonight in Colorado here tonight. So happy birthday, Jason. 17th birthday. Hopefully many more.
Three and one the count to McMahon pinch hitting. Scott Oberg warming in the pen right now for the Rockies. Oberg pitched in last night's game for Colorado. Ball 4 and down to first base goes McMahon. So a 2-out walk to McMahon.
Mentioned when Diaz came into the game, yeah, there's a streak of wildness in there, but he's been pretty aggressive in that strike zone.
Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon coming up. Blackmon with 2 hits, both singles in the first and second innings. One to center, one to right. Since then has grounded out and struck out swinging. Fly ball into right center field. Reyes and Margot come together. Be Manuel Margot makes the catch that ends the inning. The Rockies add a run, take a 6-2 lead to the 9th inning.
doubleheader Saturday on FS1. It's an NL East showdown as the Nationals take on the Mets. Also, the Braves and the Marlins at 4 p.m. Pacific. It's all on FS1 or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Saturday baseball and Fox, can't beat it.
Ninth inning. And it is indeed Scott Oberg coming into the game here after he had been warming up in the pen, trying to finish it off tonight. 38th appearance of the year.
Buddy Black last night went with the O's in the bullpen. Oberg, O, Ottavino. Tonight, O, Ottavino, Oberg. And Don, it goes down to the sometimes the save is in the 8th, right? It was a save situation. Ottavino got 3 outs. The Rockies add a run. They pad, so they don't go to their closer, and they give the 9th to Oberg.
Of course, Spangenberg going to lead it off in the 9th inning. Padres trailing by 4. Spangenberg with a double back in the first inning. Since then has lined out and struck out. Double knocked in a run, so picks up his 24th RBI of the season. 28,966 on hand tonight. 28,966. First 2 nights of the series, 56,828. Come out to see the Padres and the Rockies. And again, we'll play a day game here tomorrow. On Dog Night.
What up, dog?
One-two to Spangenberg. And a grounder left side to the backhand. The throw is going to be in time. Nice play. That was pretty special. Back up the middle. Trevor Story was more towards second base and ends up moving over. Getting a good throw off and getting Spangenberg in plenty of time.
This is really a nice play. And why? Because Story going to his right, obviously. You got to glove it and then the transfer, then throw the speedy Spangenberg. And still gets him by a full step. That's what a big league shortstop will do for you. Save you base runners.
One down in the 9th inning brings up Austin Hedges. Hedges tonight 0 for 3. Line down, grounded out, flied out. Fouls it off to the right, out of play. Down 0-2. Freddie Galvis waiting on deck. Padres batting in the 9th inning. There's Freddie. Homered his last time up. Now 11 home runs on the year. Fouled off, still 1-2. The Padres have been held to 2 runs tonight on 5 hits. One-two pitch coming to Austin Hedges. 2-2. Pitcher of record right now for the Rockies, John Gray, with 6 1/3, allowing the 2 runs the Padres have on 5 hits. Walked a batter, struck out 5, and if he does indeed get the win tonight, would get into double figures in victories. Came in individually at 9 and 7. This would be win number 10.
Yeah, he definitely a quality start for the right-hander.
Fly ball headed towards center field. Charlie Blackmon going back to make the catch for out number 2 of the 9th inning. So 2 away in the 9th, and that'll bring up Freddie Galvis. Freddie homered last time up in the 7th inning, his 11th of the year. A towering fly ball down the right field line for Freddie Galvis.
That was a perfect example of a slider that speeds up the bat of Galvis down and in. He just drops the head and sends it on its way.
Talking about John Gray, their starter tonight. 19 of 25 first pitch strikes. This will be his 11th quality start. Foul back, got a piece of the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-1. The Rockies hold on. They will have won the last 9 starts that John Gray has started. Oh, Freddie hurt himself on that swing. He is hunched over right now and trying to stretch out what appeared to be his arm. And now they're going to check on him. Mark Rogo coming out, the head trainer. Andy Green. Kind of high up on the arm area.
Yeah.
By the elbow. I see what he's saying there. Kind of shot up his arm there on the swing. Gonna stay in the game. Everyday Freddie.
Yeah. He's been answering the bell every single day. Now, you know, if that happens, you know, to get over that hurdle, you take that aggressive swing, or do you kind of feel for it, right?
That's kind of what it looked like he was doing on the foul ball.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling for it. 1-1. Fouls it off to the left out of play.
Oh, that was a pretty aggressive hack right there.
Yep.
Remember, it was his right elbow he's looking at. Looked good on that swing.
Well, they stand as one in Denver. Went around and strikes out. That's the ball game. Scott Oberg strikes out Freddie Galvis, and it ends this one. The Rockies, who dropped the first game of the series, bounce back tonight with a 6-2 victory over the San Diego Padres in Game 2 of the series. Padres Live is next. Mike Pomeranz, what's in store?